All right, guys, welcome back. Survival Living here, and yes, we are freezing breakfast. Thought I was going to say cook. What we have here, guys, is eggs. This is something that we recently started doing. Something we've actually been discussing with the community, and of course, with me, I'm researching as much as possible because I don't want to do a whole bunch of these things and then have bad eggs a year from now. Now, what we're doing, guys, is we are loading up on eggs. I eat eggs all the time. And we are freezing our eggs, okay? You get up to a year, is what they're saying, up to a year of shelf life in a deep freeze with eggs. Now, there are comments, and I've read them, and I've been researching everything because I asked you guys to put those comments in on what you do, what your suggestions are, and things of that nature. But when it all comes down to it, it all comes down to you do you, I do me, and that's how it's going to be. Now, we're freezing ours. I've seen the suggestion of dehydrating eggs, okay? Now, dehydrating eggs, should be some pop-up there for you, is a very long, drawn-out process, and you really have to be careful of salmonella, all right? Now, if you are successfully doing that, that is awesome. Dehydrating your own eggs can last you a very long time. Most of the long-term food storage stuff is dehydrated eggs. All right, and then you have your freeze-dried eggs. Freeze-dried eggs, you're going to get 25-year shelf life out of. Frozen eggs, a year. Dehydrated, 5 to 10. All right. Next up is the water glassing for eggs. Now, I do want to point this out, guys, because we used to raise chickens. We used to collect our own eggs and all that great stuff. You do not use what you see here. That is Walmart, 60 eggs. This is a Piggly Wiggly, 1 dozen eggs. You do not buy these from the store and water glass them. The reason being, guys, water glassing is for when you're raising your own chickens and you take the egg, you can wipe it off with a clean rag, getting all the chicken poop off and things like that before you water glass. Store-bought eggs, 90% are washed. There's a protective layer on chicken eggs. All right, some type of enzyme that protects the yolk, all that good stuff on the inside. When you wash it, you're removing that. So these are cleaned, they are washed. You cannot water bath those eggs. You are actually running a huge risk of damaging and creating bacteria growth on the inside of that egg that you just stored. So, water bathing is a great option if you are raising your own chickens, and you can get anywhere from a year to 2 years is what the guidelines are. And I just spilt my coffee and that was extremely hot. That's the guidelines, all right? How you store things and stuff like that, some people say they'll last much longer, whatever. I follow the guidelines just so. Guys, I've had food poisoning. This stuff, food poisoning can kill you, especially during shit hits the fan and there is no antibiotics around. There's no doctors to actually diagnose exactly what's going on. Last thing you want is to get food poisoning from your own stocks. So it's entirely up to you guys. Let's go ahead and go over what we're doing here. So, ice tray. That's right. I decided to go with ice tray. I did see the comments of using a silicone cupcake muffin thingies. My wife knows what those are because I had no idea. I was in the store, couldn't find them. These right here. I actually tested this out. I can actually fit 1 whole egg in each one of these trays, and that's for the large white egg. Now, I went ahead and made a whole bunch of scrambled. All right. Another reason why we like the freezing option is because we do bake. All right. And if you follow baking recipes, some things call for just egg yolk or egg white. I'm sorry. And you can actually separate these things and store them up just like that. 1 whole egg white. This here is a total of 8 eggs. They are frozen, vacuum sealed. I did this late last night, actually early this morning, which is the date's there. Yeah. Now, I went ahead and taste tested these things. No big deal. I have read that freezing them and reconstituting them, let them thaw out and stuff, they separate and things like that. Well, this is scrambled, and my answer to fix that is take my fork in the bowl, stir it up again. It was just fine. Now, we are adding salt to these. I don't know why it is recommended that way. I cannot find the answer for that. But the recommendation is a pinch of salt when you freeze, when you mix them up and scrambled eggs and stuff like that. You want to use a pinch of salt. So that's what we're doing, all right? And I use salt, pepper a lot. I use a lot of salt. I know it's not good, but as much as I sweat at work, I'm a mechanic by trade, and there is no air conditioning down here in Florida. You know, you're pushing 100 degrees, and it's bad, all right? So I come home, I got white stains all over my shirt where just the salt has just dried, or well, the sweat had dried, and I got salt all over me. So we just use regular table salt, and then we vacuum seal it up, all right? Just like we do our chicken, our pork, our beef. Yeah, vacuum sealed everything up just like that. So that is a suggestion for you guys. I'm just showing you what we are using. Put it in the comments what you have found, all right? When it comes to comments and stuff like that, guys, online, here in the community, I try to keep it as factual as possible. If it is something that I know is true, I promote it, I push it. If it's something I'm like, I don't know about that, I'm gonna question it, okay? But please, put comments in, let me know what you guys are doing. Like I said, dehydration, that is a great way of doing it, as 5 to 10 years. I've seen people use regular food dehydrators, all right? I have never tried that yet. That is something that we are actually interested in doing as well, because we have these stocks of the nutrient survival here, of that powdered egg, fortified egg, all right? Those things are not cheap. Austin Farms eggs, those things are not cheap. Now, I was able to buy 60 eggs from my Walmart. All right, I paid $7.47 for 60 eggs. Yeah, there's hardly anything in here because that's how much I was doing earlier this morning. I'm talking like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm off today, so I had time to do it, right? But it's an option. If you're able to take 60 eggs, dehydrate them for $8, and plus you pay for electricity and stuff like that, but you're getting 5 to 10 years shelf life for dried out eggs. That's a way to go. All right, that is. I like to freeze because we have solar. All right, our solar is protected by EMP Shield. We have the availability of creating power during shit hits the fan. How do I know this? Well, we live in Florida, and I have done many videos. We have been through several hurricanes. I've been through many hurricanes in my life, and I know what it's like to not have power for weeks at a time. Having the availability to run a deep freeze, light, air condition, not central air. I don't have a big enough battery bank for that. A window unit. We've shown we can run these things. In an emergency, we can run it. As a matter of fact, should be a pop-up there. That's the house we built. Yeah, I built with my own 2 hands. That thing was completely off-grid. Everything. Power, water, heat, everything. So when I push our ways of doing things, we're designing it for shit hits the fan, when things happen. And it doesn't have to be the end-all be-all, because I see the comments, well, the feds are coming for you for blah, blah, blah. My main concern, what I deal with on a daily basis in my life, is natural disasters. I have been through many of them. Many people die during a natural disaster. So far, the end-all be-all, SHTF, big mamma jamma has not happened yet. Is it coming? In my belief, yes. But people really need to be working on natural disaster preparedness first, because those are immediate threats you're facing. In my opinion, that's the immediate threats you're facing. And that's what we do here. Fortunately for us, our preps also carry us into the end-all be-all, shit hits the fan, oh my God, it's all going to hell. Same preps, same procedures. The only difference is you're going to have to really tighten up your security patrols and stuff. And that's another reason why I talk about working with groups, building your own group. It could just be your neighbors, all right? It could just be people right there in your neighborhood you get to meet. You know, we had to move. I had to meet new people. Now, I still have my group in the other location, but I like to see what threats are around me at all time. All right, guys, please check it out. Put in the comments what you guys do. I like the idea. Like I said, they cook up just fine. Tastes good. So these here is a setup for a family of 4. That is 2 eggs per person per meal. No, that's not the only meal. Of course, we have frozen bacon. We can make our own biscuits. We can make our own bread. I've shown us using Dutch ovens, creating our own bread. These are stocks that we use. That's why you stock up flour, salt, sugar, yeast. You do the whole 9 yards. I know some people just rather stockpile cans of food. That's awesome. All right, that is awesome. That is a food source. Please learn to cook. I don't know how many comments from people. Hey, I went and bought all this stuff. Most of it was the wheat berries. I bought all these wheat berries and I don't know what to do with them. Okay. You need to learn how to process and cook your own food. All right, guys? It's going to be very important. It's a matter of life and death. You cannot figure out how to cook your own food and you're stockpiling like crazy. You need to take a step back from any fear porn stuff you're watching. And hey, I like watching it too. It gets my butt in gear. But turn off that or go to online. There are hundreds of thousands of recipes and cooking shows that you can learn that way. If you don't want to go get a job as a a restaurant somewhere, I've done that. Yeah, I worked as a busboy, worked on a line cook. I've done all that stuff. You need to be focusing on what you really need to survive. All right, guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me. Speak to y'all later.